I'd like to bring the meeting to order, please. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Councillor Clements?
Present.
Councillor Langevin?
Present.
Councillor Livingood?
Present.
Councillor Marcucci?
Excused.
Councillor McDonald?
Present.
Councillor Nicola?
Present.
Councillor Regis?
Excused.
Councillor Spinelli?
Present.
Councillor Vandal?
Present.
7 here, 2 excused.
Thank you. Agenda item number 3, consider and accept the council minutes of Monday, January 23rd, 2010. I will be recusing myself. I was not at this meeting.
So moved. Second.
Councilor McDonald.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one noted correction on page 14, second line from the bottom where it says Fire Chief Thomas Poulin. That should be Coulombe, C-O-U-L-O-M-B-E. They sound very similar.
How do you spell his name, sir?
C-O-U-L-L-M-B-E. Coulombe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It sounds very similar to Poulin.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Make that adjustment. Thank you. Okay. We have a second. All in favor? Okay. Agenda item number 4, the subcommittee reports. A, general government. I understand the minutes are not ready yet, but will be for our next meeting. Councilor Spinelli, do you have anything else for general government at this time? No? Okay. B, DPW.
Madam Chair, no report, but I do have a meeting scheduled for Wednesday, February 22nd, 7 p.m., Rice Conference Room. Thank you.
Thank you. C, Education and Human Services, Councilor Clements.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We did have a meeting last week to discuss the Bay Path project. I have no minutes on that. We will be having a meeting, I believe, next week. It's in, I'll say negotiations. No, we're working on the schedule on that for next week. And I just want to also point out as a reminder that March 6th, there is a meeting scheduled. I know that's a little far away, but you may want to come to that. It's in regard to the Randolph Street Pool. And I know we're anticipating that project to be up and moving this year. So if you are interested, March 6th would be the date for that meeting. As far as next week, you'll have to look online or check the postings. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. D, Planning and Development, Councilor Livingood.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no report, but we do have a meeting scheduled for February 16th.
February 16th.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
E, Protection of Persons and Property. And that is Councilor Langevin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A meeting of the Protection Person and Property Subcommittee was held on Tuesday, January 24th, 2012 in the Rice Conference Room. Attendants were Chairman Langevin, subcommittee members Councilor Regis, Livingood, Clements, and citizen members Roger Cowett and Monique Manor. Also in attendance were Councilor Marcucci, Town Manager Clark, John Larshall, John Sugar, Estelle Cowett, and Gus Steves. Chairman Langevin called the meeting to order at 7 p.m. Agenda item number 1, review and discuss the vote to accept recruit process to fill the fire chief's position. And agenda item number 2 was review and discuss the vote to accept the job description for fire chief's position. Mr. Clark asked if he could address the 2 agenda items together. Mr. Clark would like to input from the committee as to the process that will be followed in the recruitment process and job description of the fire chief's position. Mr. Clark reviewed the fire chief's recruitment process memo and offered the following changes. Keep this requirement service in the fire department. Change the exam requirements to submit answers to 7 key questions in various areas. Mr. Clark said Chief Chesler discouraged the exam process of the description. Councilor Regis said she would like to see targeted questions rather than general questions. Number 3, point schedule for various degrees and experience. Mr. Clark will put together a revised job description, recruitment process, and bring it back to PPP. A motion was adjourned, made by Councilor Landry, seconded by Roger Cowett. Show of hands, all in favor, 6-0. The meeting was adjourned at 8:40 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Evelyn Rivera, recording clerk. I have no meeting at this time scheduled. As soon as the town manager gets back to me with the information, we will proceed forward. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Counselor. Agenda item number 5, Chairwoman's announcements. I don't really have anything tonight. 6, Town Manager's announcements. Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do have a few announcements this evening. First, we did receive in the mail from the Massachusetts Town Clerks Association a proclamation, and I'm just going to read it. Be it known to these present, Madeline Douse, having successfully completed the educational requirements for certification and having met all other professional and educational standards of the association, by vote of the certification board, is designated a certified Massachusetts municipal clerk. So I just wanted to acknowledge that Maddie has put in for that and did complete the necessary standards, and she has re-upped her certification. I'll make that available in the package. I don't think that was in the package.
Congratulations, Maddie.
The next item I have is from our Southbridge Water Department is going to perform hydrant flow tests, perform numerous hydrant flow tests on Tuesday, February 14th, 2012, weather permitting. So obviously, if we get a snowstorm, then they will not be doing the flushing. The hydrant flushing tests will start at approximately 9 a.m. and continue during the day at various hydrants throughout the community. The procedure will include testing the operation and capacity of the hydrants throughout the town. This is an important test to test the fire flow capability of the system. The department requests that during this period, customers check their water before washing clothes. Customers may also get accumulated sediments in their house laterals. This will clear after a brief run of cold water at the tap. So just to alert folks that on Tuesday, February 14th, that work will be commencing. Also, I finished today an RFP to put up a solar facility, or to advertise to put up a solar facility at the airport property here in Southbridge. The Airport Commission had submitted a request to me earlier to get that done. I was able to secure from another town an RFP that they used, so we will be actively recruiting as of this week for a solar facility to be located up at the airport, and that RFP due date is March 16th, 2012. I think in the material I was looking for a vote of the council, assuming everything goes according to plan and we get a favorable submission, a vote of the council by the middle of April to go forward with that. It's nice in the wintertime. Sometimes when I get quiet moments, I try to keep up to date on a few of these things, and I will be working on retooling some RFPs for buildings that the town has for sale. We do have 2 buildings on Pleasant Street, 2 on Marcy Street, and 1 on Foster Street. So we will be actively looking to try to move those buildings, and I will retool the RFP in such a way as to try to promote people to submit proposals, and then bring those proposals back to the town council to see what we can get for interest. But I have had some folks approach me about some of the buildings, so I'm hopeful that in the springtime here that the economy's picked up enough where we may be able to sell off a few of those buildings. So that will be more to come, hopefully, on that front. And that concludes my comments this evening, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Agenda item number 7 is devoted to a swearing-in or presentation. It looks like we have a presentation for a new business in town, Pizza Post.
Good evening. I'd like to thank the Town Council for having me this evening. My name is Bob Levely, owner of the Pizza Post. Used to be Gino's Pizza and Wings, 84 Worcester Street, here in Southbridge. So far, so good, and some pretty good comments. But basically, a lot of pizzas, gourmet pizzas. All of our gourmet pizzas have plum tomatoes, fresh garlic, fresh basil, different toppings, chicken and broccoli, eggplant, mushroom, sausage. Bunch of specialty pizzas. So far, the big hit around town for this town is the potato bacon pizza. Mashed potatoes, cheese and bacon on top with sour cream on the side. People seem to like it. Any pizza can be done with barbecue sauce, ranch, Alfredo sauce, and pesto. Bunch of chicken wings. Gino had some good wings here. We've continued to have the wings. We have about 25 different flavors, and we kept them because it's what the people want. Italian specialties, spinach pie, fish and chips, wraps. We've added wheat wrap and sun-dried tomato as well as your white wrap, and they can come with fries if you'd like. Burger platters. Gino has some good burgers. We kept the burgers. They're doing well. Bunch of salads. We also added a smaller size. You know, the economy. People don't have the budget, so we've made a smaller size. It's going well as well. Party pizzas. And after the meeting, I bought a party pizza, barbecue chicken, pepperoni, and onion and peppers. So if you haven't had dinner yet, it's over there. Help yourself. Appetizers. A lot of chicken appetizers, buff tenders, a lot of the french fries, different toppings. That's about it. And look forward to joining the community, helping any organizations, you know, fundraisers, give gift certificates where they can raffle off, and, you know, we help the community and they keep us in business. That's the plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please stay, because I believe you have some people who actually have some questions for you, sir.
Sure.
Mr. Levely, hi. Denise Clemens here. I was just curious, your hours?
Hours, 7 days a week, Sunday through Saturday, 11 a.m. till 10 p.m.
Okay. And are you local? Are you from the area?
Originally, I'm from Sutton. I have a shop in Oxford. Been there almost 9 years. So branching out here in Southbridge.
Super.
I actually live in Thompson, Connecticut, and actually opening another restaurant tomorrow in Thompson, so
Fabulous.
I'm
Well,
gonna
we
be
are
everywhere.
glad to have you. Thank you for
Thank you.
settling here in Southbridge.
thank you.
Good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, agenda item number 8, citizens forum. Do I have any citizens who wish to come forward? If so, please state your name and address. Any citizens? Okay, moving on. We have one item on the agenda for a vote this evening, agenda item number 9. And I'm going to read the vote, and then as it is the final reading, I'm going to read the actual amended bylaw. Vote to amend the bylaw to adopt an Economic Development Commission under Chapter 3, Appointed Officers, Section 3-223, deleting the previously proposed Section 3-224, Industrial Development Finance Authority.
So moved.
Second.
I'm now going to read it. Okay. Section 3-223, Economic Development Commission. Establishment. There shall be an Economic Development Commission appointed by the town manager, subject to confirmation by the town council, which shall consist of not more than 7 members serving staggered terms of 3 years each. The initial appointments shall consist of 2 members for 3-year terms, 2 members for 2-year terms, and 1 member for a 1-year term, with all subsequent terms to be 3 years. 1 member may be a non-resident, providing that said member be in a decision-making position in a Southbridge enterprise. Up to 2 voting alternate members may be appointed. The chairman of the authority may designate any alternate member to sit on the authority in case of absence, inability to act, or conflict of interest on the part of any member, or in the event of a vacancy on the commission, until said vacancy is filled in the manner provided in this section. Charter section, subsection 4-3-1 and 4-3-2. 3-223-2, authority and responsibilities. The Economic Development Commission shall promote a strong and vibrant town economy in order to increase the tax base and to provide jobs, goods, and services to the community. The Economic Development Commission shall work to promote an entrepreneurial spirit throughout the various sectors of economic development in the town. The Economic Development Commission shall review and make recommendations regarding tax increment financing agreements, facilitate the town's permitting processes, promote the town's industrial park and other enterprise areas, work to attract and retain advantageous growth, and perform such services as will establish a good environment for growth and the retention of enterprise, thus improving the economic condition of the town. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'll defer
Prior
to the...
your discussion, I'm going to have the town manager fill in a little, please. Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The reason why this is the third reading, this has been read previously on 2 other occasions. There were 2 components to it, the Economic Development Commission and the Industrial Development Financing Authority. In consultation with the Economic Development Director in the community here, we had a conversation and decided that we don't see immediately a value for the Industrial Development Finance Authority, so we thought we would put that on hold at this point. So what we were asking for the council to do is to vote this more constricted approval. We do have a tremendous need, I think, for a Economic Development Commission. We do have folks that have worked on a permitting guide and worked on behalf of the town, and it would be nice to have them have a formal role within the bylaws. So what we have is really a scaled-down version, and this does not, the Industrial Development Finance Authority. I think some of the concerns that were raised by the council previously was that it does have the appearance of taking away some of the responsibilities of the council. So we thought that would be best just to leave that at this point. But we did want to keep going with the Economic Development Commission because I think that does serve a vital role for the community in the way we try to market ourselves to the industrial and commercial sector. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Did you wish to speak, Mr. McDonald?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Council McDonald.
Thank you very much. I'm in support of this, with the exception of one thing. I believe wholeheartedly in the intent of home rule, and I don't believe that anybody who does not live in town should be serving in a capacity as a board or member of a commission that has a vote and a say in how things should be regulated in the town. So therefore, Madam Chair, I make a motion to amend this bylaw by striking, after the period, after the word be 3 years, striking in its entirety, 1 member may be a non-resident, providing that said member be in a decision-making position in a Southbridge enterprise.
I'll second that motion.
Do I have any discussion on the amendment to this? Mr. Clark.
Madam Chair, we did leave that language in. Several of our big corporations that we have in the community, if we want to draw some interest from that, they would not be eligible for the Economic Development Commission. But we were very sensitive to the thought of not having it be overwhelmingly people from out of town. And I think we have where it's 7 members and only 1 of them can be a non-resident. But I do believe that there are several of the larger corporations that are here in Southbridge that do have folks that are at the head of that, which would be nice to have on a committee such as this, that do not reside in the community. And I think we tried to balance that off by having only 1. But they certainly, we're not just going to pick somebody from, Auburn to be on here. I mean, it would have to be somebody that lives out of town but has a business enterprise in Southbridge. So there has to be a connection to Southbridge. Not only that, if the person were not acceptable, then obviously it comes back to council and council can vote it down. But I think that having that tool in there to allow us to attract some talented folks that actually run some of our larger industries would be a benefit to this community. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Councilor Vandal.
I kind of disagree. I think if you want to be a member of the Southbridge Commission, I think you should be a Southbridge resident. You know, you pay taxes and stuff, but that's just opening a can of worms. We're going to start now, have non-Southbridge residents on Southbridge committees. If it stays like that, I'm not going to be voting for it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councilor Clements?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do disagree with the previous councilor's words. I think that, as Mr. Clark pointed out, we need to get input from many different sources. And there are people who do not live in this town but work in this town and have taken a stake and have committed to this town by being in the business that they are in. And I don't see there being any conflict or any problem with getting some other vision, other input from successful business owners or business participants here or workers for those entities here. And I think it would do us a disservice to close our minds to that possibility. I think we need to be open-minded, and we need to encompass all the energy that's out there to build our community and make it a better place. And I don't see how one outside voice could change that. So I think it would change it for the better and not for the worse. So I'm fully in support of the way it is as written, and I'm glad we took out the other language that we were all concerned about. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor McDonald?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The whole purpose of a commission in the government is to provide governance. There is no impediment to anybody who owns a business in the Southbridge community to come before this board or commission in a hearing or to provide input that you just talked about. We're talking about a vote that could, in a sense, be regulatory in nature. And you don't typically have those who are being regulated have the vote in the governance structure in that per se. Because as it sits right now, that means that somebody from the Casella Corporation could sit on this commission, or from any other major corporation in which they have a large number of money, and money in that type of stature that goes with it can influence people to some greater extent. So I think it's okay if they have a vocal input through the hearing process. I don't believe it is appropriate for any business entity to have a vote in the governance of the town of Southbridge. I think that's not in the best interest of the citizens of Southbridge. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Anybody else have anything? Okay, we're going to vote on Councilor McDonald's amendment, and I have forgive me. I have a motion and a second. So, with that said, this is a vote on the amended version of this Economic Development Commission bylaw, taking that one member may be a non-resident, providing that said member be in a decision-making position in a Southbridge enterprise. That's what this vote is for. Could I have a roll call, please?
Councilor Langevin?
No.
Councilor Livingood?
No.
Councilor McDonald?
Yes.
Councilor Nicola?
No.
Councilor Spinelli?
No.
Councilor Vandal?
Yes.
Councilor Clements?
No.
2 yes, 5 no.
Thank you. The amendment doesn't pass. So now I'm going to ask for a motion and a second on the we have that already? We already have that, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, I'm a little bit brain dead. Sorry. With that, as it stood, can I have a vote, a roll call, please?
Councilor Livingood?
Yes.
Councilor McDonald?
No.
Councilor Nicola?
Yes.
Councilor Spinelli?
Yes.
Councilor Vandal?
No.
Councilor Clements?
Yes.
Councilor Langevin?
Yes.
5 yes, 2 no.
Thank you. Motion passes. Agenda item number 10 is Councilors' Forum. Councilor McDonald.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one thing this evening, through you to the town manager. I noticed in the weekly report that on January 25th, you had a meeting with the finance director and the fire chief relative to impact on ambulance revenue. Could you please elaborate on what situation is happening that may be impacting ambulance revenue?
The ambulance revenue is currently down from where it was last year by about $40,000, and we're trying to ascertain what the rationale is for that, and we are still in the process of of doing that. One thing that we did find was that we are 2 weeks delayed in our billing cycle, which is going to create a little bit of a statistical anomaly. The other element that we wanted to look at is we were hoping to have the 2 additional paramedics on so we could run the ambulance at a higher level, having them on for the daylight hours. And we just, I think as of last week, have the second person on, so we will be in that position. So that was something that by having the additional personnel, we could actually do additional ambulance runs. And we have not had that in place until, actually, we still don't formally have that in place yet. So we want to put that into place and then see what the trend is. So right now, the trend in that line item is that it is down, and that's some of the reason. Something that we will be carefully monitoring and watching as the time goes on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I just remembered, I do have one more thing, Madam Chair. I got a call from a resident of Violet Ave. Apparently, they have a new street sign, but it says Violet Street, and that could cause some problems. So if we could just, I just found this out this afternoon, so.
Violet Avenue.
Oh, Violet Avenue.
It says
as
Violet
opposed to
Street.
Violet
Mechanic
Street.
Correct,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's
Okay.
Ave, not
Yeah.
Street. We could fix that.
And I got that this afternoon, so
That's interesting.
that's all I have. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Counselor Vandal?
Thank you. Trash barrels downtown, they're always full. I called in a couple of weeks ago to see if they could, get them emptied out and stuff. And they did, but I noticed over the weekend again, they were all full again. They're going to have to get, picked up more often. And I would like to know who does pick them up.
I believe it's actually the Casella folks that pick up.
Well, we're going to
some of
have
that.
to, get after them and get the barrels picked up because there's no place to throw the stuff in, and that's why the trash is ending up on the ground.
Do we know what day they come in to pick that stuff up off of Main?
I don't recall.
No.
I don't recall.
If they're picking them up one day a week, going to have to go to 2 days then. Because
Is it Monday that you see that more often?
I
or is
seen it
it
over the weekend.
From over the weekend?
Yes, I was out there Saturday and they were full, and I mean full.
Yeah.
You couldn't throw any more.
Yeah,
So
they get like that.
it just ends up on the ground.
And Counselor
Thanks.
Clements has something for you.
Yes, it's been our experience over doing the trash pickup over the last couple of years and seeing when the trash cans are overfilled like that. One of the things we've seen, and we've questioned Casella about even too, is that unfortunately, people in the buildings, which should not be, they have their own receptacle somewhere. That's part of the deal when you have a multifamilies or multi-apartment use. You're supposed to put it in your dumpsters, and we're finding trash bags, full trash bags in those containers. That is not what those containers are for. They are for the use of those walking by who need a place to put their trash when they've stopped at a store or something. And what we're seeing and what's been reported is that they're overfilling them. So technically, they're abusing our system again, being that they're residents in an apartment house that should be using the dumpster probably in the back, and they don't want to. They come out, perhaps, don't know who, haven't seen it, so I won't accuse anybody specifically, but certainly the bags are in there and someone is putting them in there, so it's filling it back up, and then you're ending up with the cups falling out and stuff. So I think it's a bigger issue than just dumping them more than once, because if we keep dumping them, they're just going to keep abusing the system, and they shouldn't be. They should be, we need to dump them, yes, but we need to find out the cause and who's doing it. So maybe we need a little trash investigation there, like we've done with other illegal dumping, actually looking into the, what's in there. So I don't know, that's just our experience, having been on the street for a while, but it's a shame.
Well, it's not right, but I don't have a problem
Yeah.
with that because the trash is all ending up in the same place. Just get it out of the barrels.
Right.
Thank you.
That's it, Counselor?
That's it. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Counselor Livingood?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nothing tonight.
Thank you. Counselor Spinelli?
Nothing tonight, Madam Chair.
Nothing tonight. Counselor Langevin?
Just one thing, I do too want to congratulate my friend Matty Dowse, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Counselor. Counselor Clements?
I don't believe I have anything today. Thank you.
Check her pulse. Wait a minute. Let's see.
I'm
Okay,
glad
she's
to have
okay.
you back, too.
Glad to have you back.
Yeah.
It's the pizza.
It's the pizza.
I know, yeah, it's-
Everybody wants the pizza. Well, I want to...
Oh, actually, I do want to say something.
Okay.
Sorry, gonna
That's
bring it,
okay.
you had to say that,
I'm
so.
sorry.
Um,
Sorry.
Mr. Town Manager, through you to the Town Manager, perhaps. You know, and I believe I've brought this up before, so I want to bring this up this evening, seeing that we had another new business, which is wonderful. I think it's great that we're spotlighting them, and I think we need to continue to do more. But I do believe that we had discussed at one time the potential for, you know, it's nice to tout the new ones, but we have a lot of existing ones that have been here supporting this community for years and years and generations in times. And I think that perhaps we should somehow look into incorporating them into what we do here in some small way, in terms of, you know, maybe we see if someone is interested, pick a name out and call them and say, hey, are you interested in the next meeting, in coming out and letting us know, you know, how long you've been here, what you do in our community. It shouldn't be just about whether it's a retail or a service. It could be anybody that's, you know, committed to our community. And I think what we're doing here to spotlight, I've gotten a lot of feedback from those who are watching the cable, and not only are the businesses that have said something up here excited about the feedback that they get, because they've had customers come in and say, I saw you on the council meeting. That's great. But also the people in our community are knowing that there's something new. So I think we're providing a service economically both ways. It's good development. I think it's as long as we don't have some big, long meeting or something, I think we should continue to reach out to those who support our community one way or the other. And so again, I'm bringing this up because I just don't want to see it. Tonight would have been a great night to have 3 of them or something, you know, and it was great to have Pizza Post, and certainly, you know, when we have a light schedule. So that's my input there, sorry.
It's okay. Stole my thunder again, what can I tell you?
I know, I really don't want to prolong this, but to that point, actually, I had a lady call me the other day saying that she really liked on the cable that when they did the shows with the interviewing of the different businesses in the community. So it's a point well taken. Someone was just saying that the other day. I do have some staff changes in my office. I did hire an intern, and one of the jobs that she's going to be doing is to help out with the Make Southbridge Home, and we could certainly add this to her agenda to keep us moving and keep us in a pro-business type atmosphere.
I appreciate that. Yes, I know the Eye in Southbridge used to do some of those, and those were wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you, Counselor, and thank you, Mr. Clark. Agenda item number 11, discussion of next meeting date. When would that be?
That would be Monday, February 27th, 2012, 7 p.m. here in the chambers, if it's agreeable to everybody.
Okay. And everybody's favorite, agenda item number 12, adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor? Okay, I hold the record, 7:35. That's got to be a record.
7:34.
7:34, thank you, Counselor. Meeting.